LeBron James isn't just a generational talent. He's a living, breathing chapter of basketball history. 4 NBA championships, over 2 decades of dominance, a billionaire status, and soon the surreal feat of sharing an NBA court with his own son. But behind the accolades and awe lies a thorny debate that has followed him like a shadow: the ever-contentious ring culture. During a candid moment on his Mind the Game podcast, James opened up about a narrative that has long frustrated him: the obsession with championships as the sole benchmark for greatness. "I don't know the answer," James admitted when asked about the origins of the NBA's fixation on rings. "I wish I had the answer to this, but I'm not sure. Man, it's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport, and why it's the end-all be-all of everything." This wasn't a throwaway soundbite. It was a shot across the bow at a cultural phenomenon that, in James's view, unfairly diminishes the legacies of legendary players who didn't win it all. A ring culture, a flawed obsession? In today's NBA discourse, if a player hasn't won a championship, they're often seen as incomplete, no matter how transcendent their talent was. LeBron doesn't buy that logic. On the podcast, he pointed to Hall of Famers Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, and Steve Nash, his co-host, as victims of this narrow view. You automatically dismiss people and their careers when you say, "Hey, he didn't win a ring," James said. "Have you actually sat down and looked at what these guys did?" The list goes on. Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, John Stockton, titans of the hardwood who never hoisted the Larry O'Brien trophy, yet revolutionized the game in their own right. James's argument is simple but powerful. Success in the NBA isn't just about what you wear on your finger. Double standards across sports. James was quick to note that this kind of critique is uniquely brutal in basketball. In football, for instance, Peyton Manning isn't discredited for having fewer rings than Tom Brady. Dan Marino, despite never winning a Super Bowl, is still revered as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever sling a football. Did Barry Bonds win a World Series? I don't think so, James continued. But you can't tell me he's not the greatest baseball player to ever touch a bat. This is where James's frustration turns into a broader call for perspective. If legends in other sports are allowed to have nuanced legacies, why can't the same grace be extended in the NBA? The GOAT debate and its ring-laden bias. Of course, any conversation about ring culture eventually circles back to the elephant in the room, the eternal LeBron versus Michael Jordan debate. Jordan's 6 championships, all won with the Chicago Bulls and never losing in the finals, are often used as the ultimate trump card. But as James pointed out, this logic glosses over key details. Jordan had 3 consecutive first-round exits at the hands of the Detroit Pistons before finally breaking through in 1991. Meanwhile, James has made it to 10 NBA Finals, 4 more than Jordan, with 3 different franchises. And let's not forget the context. James dragged a 2007 Cavaliers team with minimal firepower to the finals at just 21 years old. He later led Cleveland to the franchise's first title in 2016, coming back from a 3-1 deficit against the record-breaking 73-9 Golden State Warriors, an accomplishment widely considered one of the greatest in sports history. Yet, critics often reduce his legacy to a 4-6 finals record. Basketball is a team game. In perhaps the most poignant part of the podcast, James zeroed in on the very essence of basketball. It's a team sport. No one wins alone. You can't sit here and tell me that Jerry West can't be in the same room with people who won more than him, James said. West went to 9 finals and only won 1. And he's the damn logo of the league. The point? Championships require more than greatness. They require timing, health, teammates, coaching, front office decisions, even luck. And while winning it all is the pinnacle, it shouldn't be the only lens through which we evaluate excellence. A plea for nuance, LeBron James knows better than anyone what it takes to win. He's carried teams on his back, reinvented himself through eras, and adapted his game across dynasties and decades. Still, his plea is clear. Judge players by the full spectrum of their contributions, not just the jewelry. I just hope that we appreciate more what guys have been able to accomplish, James said. It's a sentiment that challenges media, fans, and historians alike to think bigger, deeper, and fairer. Because in the end, greatness isn't always measured in gold.